Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Now, I was proud to have made Juneteenth a federal holiday. And I'm grateful to the members of Congress who are here today who helped make it possible. I'm not going to start to name them because I'll miss somebody. But it wasn't just a symbolic gesture. It was a statement of fact. It was about a statement of faith. It was testimony of a testament to the resilience of generations of black Americans who kept their eyes set on the nation's North Star. That North Star was the idea that we're all created equal in the image of God and deserve to be treated equally throughout our lives. While we've never lived up to it, we've never fully walked away from it either. That's because of you and generations before you who led the march from slavery to freedom toward more than a perfect union. But let's be clear, they're old ghosts in new garments trying to take us back. Well, there are. Taking away your freedoms, making it harder for black people to vote or have your vote counted. Closing doors of opportunity. Attacking the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you can believe it, banning books about black experiences. Trying to erase and rewrite history. Our history is not just about the past. It's about our present and our future. It's whether that future is the future for all of us, not just for some of us.
Happy Juneteenth to those who celebrate. I think everybody should. It's a federal holiday now. Yay. And the reason why it's a federal holiday can, literally be traced to one person. I don't know if you know this, but we need to know her name today. Her name is Opal Lee. She's 97 years old today. You would never know she's 97 years old. I have never seen a 97-year-old with this much vim. I didn't even know what vim was till I saw her. And then, you would see vim and vigor. Like, what's vim? Check out Opal Lee. That's vim. She's amazing. So she's 97 today. 12 years ago when she was, a mere 89 years old, she walked. I swear to God, people still do this, okay? And this is her message. People still do this. She walked from Fort Worth, Texas, where she was raised, and where her family was run out of and their home was burned down because it was a white portion of Fort Worth where her family decided to move to. They bought a house there. They decorated the house there. It was a really nice house there. She said she would have made great neighbors, but, no one gave her a chance. They burned down the house. That's not even part of the story, okay? The story is that as an 89-year-old, now this happened when she was a little girl, okay, like 1938, something like that. Okay, she's now 89 years old in this story, and at 89, something strikes her as doable. And she says, I'm doing it. And she starts to walk 1,400 miles from Fort Worth, Texas, all the way to Washington, D.C., gathering signatures along the way to make Juneteenth, which happened in the 1800s. Okay, she wasn't alive for this. But she felt so strongly about the liberation, about freedom, about finding out that slavery had ended in Texas, that this was her cause. And she walked 1,400 miles gathering signatures all the way to Washington, D.C. She gathered 1.5 million signatures and brought it to the attention of the Biden administration, who then went about making Juneteenth a federal national holiday. And that is why banks are closed. Okay. And so, this woman is kind of amazing, really. Wait, I'll play this. Okay.
The retired public school teacher hailed as a national figure.
Hello, young people.
For decades, pushing the country to recognize Juneteenth as a national holiday, a day commemorating the end of slavery across the U.S. In 2021, that dream became a reality. You worked, some people say single-handedly, to make sure that Juneteenth was recognized as a national holiday.
I'm hoping that young people, and everybody's a young person if you're not 97, so that I'm wanting young people to realize that we can make a difference.
She's pretty amazing. I mean, in that clip, she is 97 years old, but she doesn't sound 97 years old. She certainly doesn't behave like a 97-year-old, person who needs assisted living. I know I will. There's no question. There's no question in my mind. I scope out places now to find out how much it's going to cost me. I do it. I actually do it. So there you have it. But she is an amazing person, and I just thought that you should know why today is a national holiday, whose effort it took, and that she did this almost by herself with 1.5 million people signing something saying, yeah, that they were for it. But the story of Juneteenth is it depends where you're from. The Texas Day of Liberation, Texas Jubilee Day, Texas Emancipation Day, now a national holiday. It depends where you are. Like Florida, the same story could be told about Florida not finding out that there was an Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, let's just do it this way. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, but we were still in the Civil War. For 2 more years, we'd be in Civil War. So when he signed the Emancipation Proclamation, it was sort of a goal, an aspirational goal, that the Confederates would somehow end slavery, but only if the Union Army won, only if we won. And so the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863, as people know in this country, right, that the Civil War didn't end until 1865. And then 2 months after the surrender to Appomattox is when the people of Galveston, Texas, were finding out that the war was over. And that's because we didn't have social media. There was no Twitter, no TikTok. And so, you had to have people go there and tell 250,000 enslaved people in the state of Texas, not so much that they were free, but that the war was over and that there was an Emancipation Proclamation that was 2 years old, but would only apply if we won and blah, blah. Okay. In Florida, people found out about it on May 20th. Okay. That was the date in 1865 when the news of Lincoln's executive order, basically, that's what the Emancipation Proclamation was. It was a decree by the president. That's when it got to Florida and reached enslaved people here. Washington, D.C., they had April 16th as their Emancipation Day, the day that they found out that the Civil War was over and that there had been an Emancipation Proclamation written 2 years before. So that's the story of, Juneteenth. That's why. But it became her day. It became June 19th because she walked 1,400 miles to Washington, D.C. from Fort Worth with 1.5 million signatures gathered along the way. And she was able to get that done. And so that's why it's June 19th. And it's pretty much about Texas. But I just want you to know this happened all, in a lot of Confederate states. A lot of places did not find out because there's no Twitter. There's no X. And so a lot of people, did not know that there had been something called the Emancipation Proclamation that Abraham Lincoln had decreed 2 years before the Civil War ended. And it would only apply if we won. And by we, I mean the Union. I mean, normal states, normal people, people that didn't want to own other people, do you know? Which, by the way, was a system of capitalism. It really was. And so it was a hard sell. It was a very hard sell to tell people that, free labor was going to go away. You're going to have to pay for it. So, of course, you understand it didn't completely end right there because the elite, the builders, needed people to work basically for free. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.